Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Spot him, got him.
Another day, another thought. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Double Thought Show, the show where we discuss and analyze topics, current topics, and try to challenge the mainstream mindset as well from an as objective point of view as possible. Hope you guys are all doing well, man. Hope you guys are doing well. As you know, I am RJ here with my co-host KR. KR, what's up, man? Are there any interesting highlights, topics, or perhaps stories of the past week that you'd like to address or share with us?
I think we opened up the show with that. I think, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I think you guys might. We did a show in the past about him, and I think he got the hammer, to say the least. Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested in Bahamas the past week, and well, I guess he's going to the feds.
It's gonna be an interesting story to
Very
follow because it's not something that's gonna end soon. Well, at least, never mind. Thanks to everyone who's following the live show or the rebroadcast. Let's see if everything's working correctly. So we're not struggle streaming, guys. If you can hear us, please put some ones in the chat so we know that yeah, you guys can hear us, and to make sure that you don't for you guys to make sure that you don't miss out on anything.
Yeah, so just want to say remember to like and follow, subscribe on the YouTube channel, subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, all socials actually. And yeah, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will get updates quite frequently. I think we are posting right now on average 2 to 3 videos a day, RJ.
Yeah. During weekdays, it's basically 3 times a day. Two would be an exception, but we try to post as much as possible. And of course, as you guys know, we have on Saturdays the live shows. On Sundays, guys, we did a Sunday show in the past. We're not saying that it's not gonna happen again, but if God could rest, so can we. I'm just kidding. Hey
Yeah.
guys, before we proceed, because we got a good one for you today, a very interesting story, or at least a theme, and various stories to follow. But before we proceed, guys, we just want to share the usual disclaimer. As you know, we're not financial advisors in the show. We're not life advisors or any kind of advisors. This show is purely to provide you with entertainment and to share thoughts and opinions with you guys. And of course, we're very interested as well to hear your thoughts and opinions on the matters we discuss. For personal advice, whether it be financial, legal, or any type of advice, we urge you to seek out the respective professionals in the field where you require assistance.
Yeah, so guys, before we continue, please like the live
And the rebroadcast as
and
well.
the rebroadcast. Oh, let me wait, why else you Jesus Christ.
My bad. My bad.
And the rebroadcast. Yes. I don't forget you guys watching the rebroadcast. I think RJ thinks I'm forgetting you guys, but I'm trying to get in the flow, you know. But yeah, so like the show, guys. So we get put higher in the recommendations as well, and it shows YouTube that people are liking our content. So with that being said, um, are you going to interrupt me, RJ?
Not
Okay,
after
okay,
not after what you just said, man.
okay.
It will be a bit insensitive.
Hey, on to the show!
Yeah, I think we can start with the show, guys. We have a lot to discuss in today's show. As you can see in the title, the team is your guru, mentor, your hero, more, or your role model, setting you up for failure. I mean, this could be happening on purpose. Have we seen those in the past as scams, or that can be unbeknownst to them, where they are adding to a, let's say, endorsement, let's put it that way, without knowing that the company they are endorsing is setting you up for failure.
The system is rigged.
The system is rigged. Yes. And of course, guys, not only that, but how can we possibly avoid this from happening? We will be discussing some of the FTX examples. We've talked about them in the past, of course. Oh, by the way, do you know, RJ,
What?
what Sam heard the first time he walked into the courthouse or the jail when he was going to
What did he?
America?
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you earn your freedom.
Guys,
Shout out,
we talked about FTX. What did you say?
shout out to Brittany Grime.
Wow, we change people from the gulag to the another, right? Anyway, I think we'll discuss FTX as they have had multiple endorsements. We've talked about this also in the previous video. From very popular celebrities and role models, people they consider as no role models. These people have also been sued, got included in a class action. So we will discuss that as well. RJ, would you say that Sam Bankman-Fried is some kind of a role model before he was caught red-handed, or at least red-handed with his? What's about to say with his pants down?
It's probably one of his
Yeah,
C-level executive spends now.
yeah. So
Yeah,
was he a role model with the whole effective altruism thing he had going? Would you say
yeah,
he was a role
yeah,
model?
definitely. With that respect, I mean, we covered it in the previous show, the show we dedicated on the FTX scandal, where um, I forgot his name. What's Nas Daily? Where
Oh,
Nas
okay.
Daily interviewed him a couple of years ago
Well,
and discussing that, saying that,
oh,
yeah,
9 months ago.
was it 9 months ago? Was it so
It was
recent?
like 9 months ago. 10 months.
Was it 2022?
Yeah, it was this year, beginning of the year.
Yo, okay.
That story went pretty quick. I mean,
Yeah.
9 months in Bitcoin years is like 10 years, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So with that respect, I mean, in that respect, yes. I don't know if people really looked up to him. Like, for example, they look up to other people who call themselves gurus, like
Mhm.
let's say Tony Robbins and those type of people. But I do think that the way that he was portrayed in the media was definitely something to be admired. So yeah,
That way, he was a role model to some.
he was. It could be, yeah, could be.
Okay. Well, RJ, can you please post the link so people can call in?
Yeah, let me put it in. Guys, as we discuss, as we're discussing the topic, you can just call in if you want to share your thoughts.
Thank you. So, I think we can now start with the story of the week.
Where do we begin?
You guys might know Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, from the Shark Tank. Very intriguing guy. One of the most likable sharks, by the way.
Yeah, one of the most. He appears ruthless, but I think he's very honest.
Yeah, that's what you want from a business partner, right?
Yeah.
So he is kind of the one of the main characters in that show. Or character sounds like like they're playing a role, but he's one of the main investors. Let's put it this way. He's been in multiple episodes. One of the ones that has been to almost all episodes, the most of everyone, I think. And this past week he went to the Congress, to a Congress hearing relating to FTX and crypto. And during that hearing, he said a couple of very interesting things. Well, the whole hearing is actually interesting, RJ.
Yeah.
It shows you the state, or at least the where some of the members of the Congress, what their thoughts are, the question they are asking, how much knowledge they have about the crypto. So it's very interesting to watch in full. But we've picked out only two parts of this Congress hearing to discuss with y'all, to share with y'all. Oops! Oh no, this is the wrong picture. Now that's Sam, guys. Sam in Bahamas.
Doesn't look too tropical.
Well, he looks like he's drunk. But anyway. Let's continue. This is the video of Kevin talking about his entry into the crypto game and also his endorsement with FTX.
In 2017, I was a public critic and skeptic of crypto and blockchain technology. As the global regulatory environment began to open up in 2018, I began to invest. Now I am a shareholder in multiple companies involved in crypto technology, including WonderFi BitBuy, the largest and first regulated broker-dealer crypto exchange in Canada, Immutable Holdings, a developer of NFT technology, and Circle, the company that brought USDC stablecoin to market. I've also invested in multiple crypto tokens, infrastructural level 1 and level 2 blockchains. I am of the opinion that crypto, blockchain technology, and digital payment systems will be the 12th sector of the S&P within a decade. Many of these technologies are going to disrupt the existing financial services sector with faster, more efficient, more productive, and more secure ways of investing, paying, transferring, and tracking assets. As you are aware, Bitcoin, a store of value, is not a coin. It's software. Ethereum is software. Blockchain is software. In the last 30 years, every American enterprise has driven major efficiencies using various versions of enterprise software, and crypto is no different. The potential of these crypto technologies is astronomical in scale. In August of 2021, nearly 3 years after I started allocating capital to the crypto sector, I entered into an agreement with FTX to be a paid spokesperson. I was paid approximately $15 million for these services, plus approximately $3 million to cover the portion of the taxes. Of the remaining amounts, approximately $1 million was invested in FTX equity and approximately $10 million in tokens.
Just I'll spin that one back because maybe you've not heard how much he got for that.
To be a paid spokesperson in scale. In August of 2021, nearly 3 years after I started allocating capital to the crypto sector, I entered into an agreement with FTX to be a paid spokesperson. I was paid approximately $15 million for these services, plus approximately $3 million to cover the portion of the taxes due.
So he got 15 plus, what did he say? Plus 3 to cover the taxes.
Yeah.
Jeez. As a spokesperson.
Yeah.
Endorsements, guys. Endorsements.
Well,
Of the remaining,
little did he know.
Little did he know.
Little did he know. Okay, let's continue.
approximately $1 million was invested in FTX equity and approximately $10 million in tokens held in FTX wallets. The equity is now most likely worthless, and the accounts have been stripped of their assets and, interestingly, financial records. I've written all off to zero. Because I was a paid spokesperson, however, I never invested any capital from our partners or LPs in FTX. The capital loss was from an operating company that I had 100% ownership in. I'm using my own capital to pursue record recovery of the FTX accounts so I can conduct a forensic audit. The truth of this situation will be discovered by following the transaction trail after obtaining the records. I've applied for membership on the FTX Creditors Committee in connection with the bankruptcy proceedings because I feel obligated to pursue the facts on behalf of all stakeholders and believe my perspective of this situation will be helpful to the other creditor committee members.
So yeah, it's pretty clear how much he got when he started. FTX is not the only company not the only crypto company he has shares in, and he seems like someone who's knowledgeable enough by now about the blockchain.
Yeah, and just to add to that, he mentioned it as well. He was a skeptic at first because we're talking about say a great financial mind here. So not just your random guru. This is someone who has a track record of making money, making successful business. So he knows what he's talking about, and which is why he was skeptic at the beginning. But if he's saying that this will be I think it was the 12th, right? The 12th sector of the S&P, then that's definitely saying that he sees great potential in crypto.
Yeah, and there were 4 people there at the hearing. 2 of them were pro, 2 basically against. crypto, and it was a very interesting hearing, to say the least. I get so some topics are not related to this show, so we're not gonna show them. But there was kind of a not a direct back and forth, but kind of a response moment when people were talking about crypto being kind of a gambling. You're basically gambling, and he had I have to say, a pretty good response to that. So it's been very interesting. So let's continue with the second part, where he basically describes from his opinion, as he states it multiple times, how FTX went down.
So let me ask you directly. You were an investor in FTX, and I know you've spoken frequently with Sam Bankman-Fried over an extended period of time. Why do you believe FTX failed?
Before I continue, Mr. Toomey or Tommy, whatever his name is, he seems like during the whole hearing, he seems like one of the most knowledgeable ones about the actual blockchain. He was talking about contracts and all the aspects about, and the others were more saying
Repeating
talking
what
in
people
general
told me.
terms.
Objection, hearsay.
They were talking in general terms. So
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, let's continue.
I have an opinion. I don't have the records. Here it is. After my accounts were stripped of all of their assets and all of the accounting and trade information, I couldn't get answers from any of the executives in the firm, so I simply called Sam Bankman-Fried and said, "Where is the money, Sam?" He said he had been refused access to the servers. He no longer knew. I said, "Okay, let's step back. This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go?" I said, "Sam, why don't you go to this? Tell me the use of proceeds of the assets of your company. Where did you spend it?" And then he told me about a transaction that occurred over the last 24 months, the repurchase of his shares from Binance, his competitor. I didn't know this at the time, but at some point, CZ or Binance, who runs Binance, purchased 20% ownership in Sam Bankman-Fried's firm for seed stock. And then over time, and I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion was the number he was giving me at that time. Later, in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this to just one shareholder? He said, because every time we went to get licensed in different jurisdictions, because you must understand the prize of crypto is to get regulated. For all the talk we say about Bitcoin and everything else, no institutions own this. I work for the sovereign wealth and pension plans. They don't touch this stuff because it's unregulated. Between these two, let's call them frenemies, because they obviously were potentially the two largest shareholders in the firm, they had a disagreement. They had a falling apart. Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different geographies, these different jurisdictions, to provide the data that would clear them for a license. He withheld it, according to Sam Bankman-Fried. The only option the management and Sam Bankman-Fried had was to buy him out at an extraordinary valuation of close to $32 billion, less apparently a 15% discount. That stripped the balance sheet of assets. You ask me why it went bankrupt? Go to the last week. All of a sudden, in social media, CZ is asking for another $500 million. He wants to do a block trade of FTT, or the proprietary token of FTX. Wants it converted back to fiat. Why would you put that out there? You know it's going to push down the pressure. It's going to push down the value of that coin dramatically, and that's exactly what happened. Every trade around, if you have a large block trade, you go negotiate a clearing price with other buyers and you do the transaction. In my view, my personal opinion, these two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But finance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now.
Bruh.
They put FTX out of business. Now, lots of other reasons, I'm sure, but that's my personal opinion. That is what Sam Bankman-Fried told me in terms of where the assets went. Why should we care? Single reason. I'm a shareholder. You tell me the two largest shareholders do a transaction together, that's a related party transaction. I'm not sure that's okay. Maybe I want a Madoff clawback on those proceeds. Maybe I want to pursue that.
Mr. O'Leary, I'm sorry, you're about 3 minutes over. You have
Thought it was a meme. So, you know what? The
No,
clock.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't me.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Well, I might have to cut that one out. Anyway,
When
RJ.
I'm rambling.
Huh?
Or when I'm rambling, talking too much. I'm sorry,
yes,
sir.
yes. Well, I have one for you. Well, not for you, but I have one already lined up, but I'm not gonna use it today, unless you. Anyway, guys, RJ, what is your thoughts about this explanation by Kevin? Knowing what we know, with which the topic we discussed. I think we discussed this quite extensively a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, in our show, in the show of a couple of weeks ago, where we discussed this story, we went deeper in the story and discovered other things. So it might be that what he's saying is true, but as we established, there was so the company was managing $16 billion, I believe, without any company structure, just a couple of so I guess there were like 10 people who were managing and running the company, and these 10 people were also involved in a polyamorous relationship. Now, I don't know which led to which. So is it because you're in a relationship with that person that they got the job, or was it a prerequisite? I don't know. But yeah, so I don't hear him talking about that problem. I hear him talking from the point of view of a investor,
Or an endorser.
or endorser, or endorser. Yeah. So yeah, so it's like maybe the contract is still on. He's still yo, you still need to get his money, man. So I think we need to see what we need to. So let's, because we're done with the story, right? Kevin O'Leary story, but I think it's really one-sided. It's not covering all the real problems. Because maybe the Binance situation accelerated the process, the point of failure.
Yeah.
But based on the way they were running the business, failure was inevitable.
Inevitable. Yeah, I do agree with you on that. I think CZ put kind of gas on the fire that was already lining the way towards the end.
Yeah.
Whew. And I think we discussed multiple aspects of what went wrong, and I think basically Binance CZ gave the last push to FTX to put them out of business. So that's definitely something you cannot deny.
Maybe it wasn't a push. Maybe it was they drove them over with a Hummer.
Yeah, it was quite brutal. I think we have a clip, 21 minutes clip about that, how that went down, and we will show you guys later on a couple of clips we have. RJ, what else did you notice about Kevin during this?
This here, but he was pretty furious. So you can see anger in his.
Yeah, but it was something else.
Or something else.
It was something really small. Let me see if we can go back.
Huh.
I can go back. Yeah, I thought you, as a lawyer, you should have seen this. You should have heard this.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me go here. Give me a second.
FTT or the other after at an extraordinary, he withheld it. CZ would not frenemies. Between these two, I have to understand the prize of would compel you to buy back. About 24 hours later, he told me he could have over time, and I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion was the number he was giving me at that time. Later, in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this to just one shareholder, CZ or Binance, repurchase of his shares? Where did the money go? This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go? And I said, Sam, walk me back 24 months. Tell me the use of proceeds of the assets of your company. Where did you spend it? And then he told me about a transaction that occurred over the last 24 months, the repurchase of his shares from Binance, his competitor. I didn't know this at the time, but at some point, CZ or Binance, who runs Binance, purchased 20% ownership in Sam Bankman-Fried's firm for seed stock. And then over time, and I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion was the number he was giving me at that time. Later, in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this to just one shareholder? He said, because every time we went to get licensed in different jurisdictions, because you must understand the prize of crypto is to get regulated. For all the talk we say about Bitcoin and everything else, no institutions own this. I work for the sovereign wealth and pension plans. They don't touch this stuff because it's unregulated. Between these two, let's call them frenemies, because they obviously were potentially the two largest shareholders in the firm, they had a disagreement. They had a falling apart. Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different geographies, these different jurisdictions.
You're saying, is it trembling?
There are multiple times. I stopped it here because he's going to say it a couple of times. He said, he kept saying, according to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's just being smart, man. That's just being smart.
According to Sam.
Yeah, yeah.
Sam said.
Sam said, yeah.
Just making sure I'm not included into this BS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, well, that's one of the things I noticed. But we're not the only one who watched this this video, this hearing. Patrick Bet-David and his crew at the Patrick Bet-David podcast also watched it, and they had the following to say.
Okay, let's say Binance did that. Set it aside. We just heard testimony from the acting CEO who's trying to work through this on behalf of the U.S. magistrate in the bankruptcy, that these guys were moving customer assets from FTX to Alameda. We have the transaction numbers. We've seen the stuff moving. This wasn't stuff that was moving in crypto wallets and on the blockchain that can't be tracked. It was moving. So I'd like to know what part of Binance was putting them out of business that led to committing fraud, where you take like money that belonged to a lot of very wealthy people and it was going from pocket A to pocket B to cover losses, number one. And number two, I would like to know what Mr. Leary's interest is in putting a dent in Binance. What is that all about?
Well, first of all, do you know how much he got paid by FTX? Do you know what the amount is?
No, I don't.
15 million.
That was his like an influencer fee?
$15 million.
Okay, so Kevin
he also
O'Leary
Right
was
there, right there. FTX spokesman Kevin O'Leary says he lost $50 million payday from crypto firm.
Because he had
FTX.
equity.
Oh,
in
okay. So
FTX.
in other words, he
It's a lot of
wasn't in
money.
front of Congress as a impartial financial expert.
Let's read the article.
He was a lobbyist.
Yeah. So investor Shark Tank, judge and CNBC contributor Kevin O'Leary said Thursday he's lost $50 million FTX paid him to act as a spokesperson for the now collapsed crypto
Hold up,
exchange
hold
that some have called.
Hold up. How can you lose money? How can you lose money they paid you?
Put myself on mute. I think they never converted it into cash.
So it's just, oh, they paid them in coins, in crypto.
He starts. I don't know if you. He started saying that he got it in. Well, part was turned into. I think 1 million. He said turned into shares in the company, and the other was, I think, in tokens. So, like, I think. Did I say that on the show or off the show last time around? That these guys were buying everything with their tokens.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Yeah.
And that, and the fact that Elon was like, because they offered Elon, they offered to buy in Twitter, buy into Twitter as well. And Elon was like,
This dude was he was so easy with talking about billions. Even Elon was like,
"Let's
what?
go, yeah. Pay
What
me
are you talking
Oh,
about?
thank you.
He was like, what do you mean, dude? 3 billion like that? You're giving money away like that? Oh, it's really EA around here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but so basically, I don't know that gentleman's name, but he he had the same reaction we had, relating to this. I wouldn't say attack, but seems like an attack on Binance. Straight up G-checking Binance. RJ.
Yeah.
With this statement by Kevin.
Yeah, but again, he's not unbiased in this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he isn't.
Probably still hoping to get paid.
Well, he gave that hope up.
No, but he talked about the clawback clause, and
That is
so maybe what he said in the video that he's considering is to go after Binance. So that's, I don't know. So I don't know. Let's say his chances of winning, but that's what he's talking about because he wants his money back.
So the question is, he also said in another moment that the small investors should get their money first. So it's all over the place. It's all over the place, guys. No, I forgot my train of thought. Anyway, let's continue with the next video where he basically, Patrick is discussing selling out.
Some regulation.
So is this a good look or a bad look for Kevin, the position he's taking?
I
I think he's protecting himself.
I think he looks like a lobbyist.
Okay. So, okay, I don't think that's a good look. I don't think that's a good look for Kevin. Kevin has had his brand, what he's done, where he's been, tied to however many years on what's
Shark
that show?
Tank.
Shark Tank. And by the way, I think he carries the weight on that show, and I think everybody was.
The number one guy on Shark
But
Tank.
you know how they say TNT, NBA on TNT, who's the main guy that really
Charles
changed
Barkley.
that? It's Charles Barkley, right? And I think for that, he's the Charles Barkley of Shark Tank, okay? Vice
Barkley's
versa.
on this list, by the
Yeah,
way.
huh?
Barkley's on this list.
Really? Okay, cool. We're going to go through that here in a minute. But I think that was a bad look. But let's set that aside, okay? How much money how much money would you say would it take for you to say yes to a product you have zero belief in? Like, at what point do we say no to a sponsorship? So, for example,
RJ,
Tell me. Talk to me.
We'll get some sponsorships in the future.
Yeah.
At what price do we sell our soul? I'm just kidding. Oh, man. I'm just kidding.
No, I think we're gonna. No. So I saw a site. But yeah, we're gonna. That's a joke, of course, but it depends on how big your channel is. I wouldn't call it selling my soul.
No, but all jokes aside, now I get what you're saying. That was kind of probably not a good joke to make, but anyway, it's a trap. Yeah, it's definitely a trap. Yeah, so it's a very good question by Patrick right here, because I think it seems like it's something that you see a lot with influencers, where they are basically endorsing stuff that you would ask yourself, are they really using it, or is it just for the money? You see that quite frequently.
Yeah. Well, I think in the case of Kevin, because he said that he invested in the company, I guess.
No, that's with that. I think it with a 50 million. So
Is it? Yeah. Is it so? No, because he said that he invested money from his own company, from a company of which he's 100%.
Maybe separate. Maybe it was separate.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it can be $10 as well, technically. So technically speaking.
Yeah.
But I think he might. Yeah, I don't know. He might think it's the future. He might have invested in it. I think he's a financial guy, and he wouldn't. He has too much to lose by by affiliating with people who have bad reputation. So I think that he truly believed that there was something in it for him.
Yep.
Tom Brady, on the other hand, I doubt it. Same goes for Larry.
He went all out, I think.
Yeah.
So, guys, please, everyone who's following this live show and the rebroadcast, don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe, guys.
So, as I mentioned before, we've done a clip or two about FTX. Well, it's more than a clip or two. It's more like 13. And after this, it will be a bit more after this show. We talked basically about the comparison of him with another fallen star, Elizabeth Holmes. Binance shrewd business moves that led to the FTX humiliating downfall. I guess you can guess what's in that video. And we have a bunch of other videos in this.
We have a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot. We have 12 videos, and also the
live show.
Live show is included. So, if you guys want to know more about what happened, what really happened, what transpired after the fall, and so for example, they were giving money, donating money to all parties and stuff like that. We talked about it quite extensively, and created it to give you some insight in what was really happening at FTX.
Yeah.
So, not only did in the past week, not only Patrick Bet David talked about FTX, Joe Rogan also did. I'm gonna play this video. It's a small video about the people who endorsed and might have lost some money as well.
Spoiler.
That FTX thing is crazy because so many people were spokespeople for it.
Is that the
Yeah,
one? Is that
they're
the
all
one
getting
where
sued.
Tom
Like
Brady,
was
broke up
in
his
there.
marriage.
Tom Brady's having a rough fucking.
That didn't break up his marriage.
Oh,
was that
I
what
bet
it was?
that was it. You can quote me on that. I'm telling you, she was like, "Oh, we better split ties right now, there, Tommy, because it's about to get ugly."
Who's the Fortune favors the bold? Who's that?
Huh?
That was
Oscar
Matt Damon.
Wilde.
Matt Damon for which Bitcoin? Who cares?
I forget. Which what? Crypto.
Fortune favors the bold. He told rich people to put their money.
Which Bitcoin?
I caught that one as well. Yo, you dudes don't know what they're talking about.
Spot the scrub.
Oh, which Bitcoin? Anyway, let's continue.
Go fucking arena. It's
Fortune
a-
Feimster.
I think they own the Staples Center now. When he was comparing it to people going to the moon, and I'm like, bro,
They don't own it. They named it. They don't own it. But
well, of course. They were talking about
Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie.
Thank you,
Jamie,
Jamie.
correct me real quick for you.
Step one.
They were
What'd
talking.
you say?
I said they don't own it.
We can't have three different conversations going on, kids. When they were talking about
Somebody said kids.
he was doing that commercial where he's like comparing it to like space travel.
Yeah.
Talking about innovators, groundbreakers. Look at this.
Telling all
This
these
is good.
fucking barely
What's this
making it
commercial?
people to throw
By the
all
way,
their
I'm a
money in
big
this.
Matt Damon fan.
Who almost adventured, who almost achieved, but ultimately, for them, it proved to be too much.
Even Matt Damon.
Yo.
There are others.
Even Matt Damon, man.
They got well.
They
This
got
is not next. This is another one. This is another Bitcoin.
If you tell me it's Madonna, I'm out, man.
Yo, I don't know if you recall, RJ, last year's. Well, no, it's not last year. Last season's, but this year's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many crypto ads there were?
I don't know. I don't remember because
A lot. I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, more than I would have thought before the show. Well, before the game, let's put it that way. But I was like, ooh, I think crypto.com was also I think it's called crypto.com. The website Matt is endorsing. Yeah, so
or is it if you ask the Joe Rogan's host, he will tell you it's bitcoin.com.
it's another Bitcoin, man. I mean, maybe I should this is how I should talk.
Bitcoin.
We should talk about like this. This is another Bitcoin, guys. It's another Bitcoin.
Another Bitcoin. Yeah.
Hey man, potato, right? Okay, let's continue.
Look at
These
this.
fucking losers.
We're talking about people who embrace the moment. That guy's not embracing the moment. That guy's a crazy fuck climbing a glacier. That's not smart.
This is cheesy.
The Wright brothers.
These mere mortals,
Oh
just like you and
God.
me.
Mere mortal.
Like, those guys invented flight and climbed a mountain. They're like, look at these
They
gay guys.
Guys on Molly.
These guys just kissed.
That was a
also
guy and a
pretty brave
girl
if you think
kissing,
about it.
wasn't it?
It's true.
The four simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
Wow.
It's not really brave to buy crypto.
Well, it is now.
I guess it is now. It is.
Yeah. when something like that FTX thing goes down where you watch billions of dollars just disappear. Yeah.
I lost a fortune.
Fortune favor.
Yo, wait. Play that again. Just
Which one?
no, just like 5 seconds. Go 5 seconds back.
When he says
He says, I lost a fortune. Look at Joe Rogan's awkward facial expression.
When something like that FTX thing goes down where
You're ha-
you watch billions of
you're
dollars
having fun
just
now.
disappear. Yeah.
I lost a fortune.
Is that what you're doing there with that?
Well, I'm just saying, I lost a lot of money.
Did you lose a lot of money?
Yeah.
In it?
You really
Damn.
did put money in
I
crypto?
did. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
No, I lost a ton.
How much?
I don't want to get into numbers here. It's big.
Amen.
No, man. It's
I don't want to sound like I didn't know what I was doing.
Brady said, "Are you in?" So Brady asked me, "Are you in?" I was like, "Yeah." Wherever you go, I go. Goat.
Yo, where you go, I go. Yeah, I go to FTX. I'm gonna join you, Brady. Oh man, yeah. That's a good one, by the way. Hey, this is you can it's all jokes and games until you lose 50
Oh yeah, man.
or 90. It sounds
Yeah,
like a lot of money. You can hear the hurt.
And just to it says a lot about the times we're in, because you know about the DJ slash dancer that was on the Ellen show who
Yeah, I
deleted
heard
himself.
about that story.
The first thought that came to mind, and this is the first time ever, was like, this guy might have had crypto, might have invested in. So that was the first thought, man.
Oh my god.
It wasn't even, it wasn't.
That's the first thing you thought about?
Yeah. And so it just goes to show you the times we're living in, man, because they're playing with a lot of people's bread.
That is true.
And mental health.
I wish I had that Uncle Ruckus. Hey, let's continue.
No, I lost a ton.
How much?
I don't want to get into numbers here. It's being impolite.
Impolite to yourself, you mean? Tell me the numbers, dude. Tell me
Give me a break.
Give me the number. I want to know how much you follow Brady with, man. How much money did you put where your mouth is? Oh man.
But
enough.
Yo,
this dude is trolling him. Yo.
Hey, those are great friends, man. That's how you treat a friend who made
This
a big
dude is trolling him, man.
He just started laughing at him. Like, dude, why are you this stupid? Did you really follow Brady into that deal? Oh man.
Oh man.
Brady went from New England to Miami. He went with Brady. Brady went from Miami to Bahamas. He went with Brady. Brady went down. He went with Brady. Okay, let's continue.
I don't know you.
What did you say?
Brady said, "I don't know you," and left him.
being impolite.
How much?
But
enough to disturb you.
That was the first time I checked. I lost like 15 grand
in the tens of thousands.
This year.
Yeah. I thought it was the right thing to do. I saw the commercial.
He's not the only one, I guess.
I was never going to take it out of there.
So
either.
people are suing.
I thought it was the right thing to do. I saw the commercial.
I was never going to take it out of there.
So
either.
people are suing Larry David.
Yeah.
Right?
He was just in a commercial.
Because he did a commercial for them. They're suing. There's a class action lawsuit. I think it involves. Find out what it does.
Tom Brady, Larry David.
They're saying, why'd you tell us to do this?
I don't know that it's gone through yet. I think they've talked about it.
So some people are saying, but then there's also the people that are like, where's my money?
Yeah.
And this guy is just going to go to some New York Times thing that they're doing this week, right?
Oh, Shay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Did these people who endorsed FTX put those two gentlemen in a very difficult position? And not only them, because they were the ones who followed, apparently.
Yeah.
Also others who trusted the people who were endorsing these this platform. Do you think they might have lost some credibility with their fans?
Yes, they might have, definitely. However, I don't see them successfully suing anybody, because at the end of the day, someone tells you go, if you see a KFC commercial, you go eat it, you get food poisoning, you're not gonna blame. Well, gonna blame the athlete that promoted it, right? You just blame the store. So they gotta, yeah, they're the one who followed them.
I'm gonna blame Mary J. Blige for that song she made. You know about that, right?
No, I don't know.
Do I need to show you guys?
Yeah, no, wait. I don't know with the copyright claim if we're gonna get into trouble.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's leave it out. Let's leave it out. Get hit like. You're right. You're right.
You could have used the Tyreek Hill's Popeyes commercial.
Guys, go search it on. What I will do, I will search it up for you guys, and I'll show you. I'm not gonna click on it. I'm just gonna show you. Mary J. Blige KFC. She had a commercial, crispy chicken. Oh, was it? Oh no, it was not KFC. It was Burger King. That was it. It was crazy. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry, I interjected into your point.
No worries, man.
Anyway, so they probably have lost their credibility with their fans, slightly at least. But I do think you're definitely right on the fact that there is something that's called due diligence.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't follow people blindly.
Yeah. The problem with due diligence is that a lot of people don't even know how to write it. So 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 so
Oh.
They don't even know how to write it, man. Much less knowing what it means.
Yeah, I guess that's why a lot of them lost the money. Maybe they should learn it now.
Yeah, they thought it was a dessert. It was like
yes. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough for those people. I mean, guys, don't follow people blindly. And this is what this show is about. Basically talking about following people blindly into a corner where they are lining you up, basically.
Yeah.
To get got. So this was basically the video of Joe Rogan relating to FTX. They continue talking about random stuff. They were also showing a live video of Sam during I think he did like a keynote, a Q&A last week, and a live one, probably one of his last for the next for a while.
Lifetime.
Don't want to say lifetime. I didn't want to give numbers, because once you put numbers out there, this is a recording, RJ. People will come back 10 years later and tell you were wrong.
I don't care.
At least we started the show off good. So
I don't care.
Kind of So let's continue with another part of the show. Lex Fridman had last week one of the great journalists we have right now.
Investigative journalist, I would say.
Investigative journalist. Yes, one of the better ones, who basically tackles a lot of scams, fraudsters. Coffeezilla. And they talked about different stuff. I mean, it was a 3-hour show, very interesting stories. They talked almost half, at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours about FTX, almost 2, I think. And they also talked about different stuff. Among them, that I think it wasn't compliance. They said something else. One of the guys who were responsible for it's like compliance. was also part of another website, a poker website, who was in who was who had a god mode, what they call a god mode, and that gave the players insight into their other people's cards when they are pokering. So if that's part of your compliance team, basically fraud, and they were hiding it, and this guy was kind of head of compliance. So you can already expect some BS happening. But they also talked about other people. One of them was Andrew Tate. For those who don't know, Andrew has been quite a well-known figure these days. Well, he got banned, so he's not as big as he was, but he's still a name. And I will play the video where they basically talk a little bit about Andrew.
So somebody that's been criticized for MLM type schemes is Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Somebody that I'm very likely to talk with. So
Sure.
for people who've been telling me that I'm too afraid to talk to Andrew Tate, first of all, let me just say, I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. It's just that certain people require preparation, and you have to like allocate your life in such a way that you want to prepare properly for them.
Sure.
And so you have to kind of think who you want to prepare for. Because I have other folks that have more power than this particular figure that I'm preparing for. So you have to make sure you allocate your time wisely. But I do think he's a very influential person that raises questions of what it means to be a man in the 21st century. And that's a very important and interesting question, because young people look up to philosophers, to influencers about what it means to be a man. They look up to Jordan Peterson. They look up to Andrew Tate. They looked up to others, to other figures. I think it's important to talk about that, to think, what does it mean to be a good man in the society?
RJ, everyone has kind of an opinion on Andrew these days. Some say he's a misogynist. Others say he's a white supremacist, even though he's half black. Yes. I've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, they claim everything these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Quite fast to pull the trigger on you while you're half black. I mean, he doesn't look like a. Well, he looks colored, so it's hard to say he's not. He's not anyway.
He's on my side of the spectrum.
Well, definitely more on your side. That
More
I can
definitely
assure.
on my side.
And there is other stuff they accuse him of. But what is your opinion actually about him? Is he misunderstood? Has he been misquoted? Is he what they say he is?
Yeah, so I don't know if he is what he says he is, because I don't know him personally, of course. I think that they do misquote him in the sense that they clip his videos.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I've seen some changes in his last couple of interviews.
Yeah.
But before he got banned from almost all social media platforms, he was talking very reckless, not really thinking about, or maybe he was thinking, but he was too straight, too direct,
Mm-hmm.
too shocking. And doing that, you will give people who don't like you enough ammunition for them to build a case against you, so to speak. So I see him now coming on again in interviews, and he talks more. He watches more carefully what he says, also a bit more nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, but I do think that his content, I like what he says. I don't agree with everything. I think that some things he goes overboard, but in general, I do like what he says. But that has to do with the person. I don't have any knowledge about his online masterclass. That interest never even peaked. Not even interested to know what happened. Of course you hear some stories, just like Lex Fridman just mentioned, but I don't know about the course. I know about him and the way he portrays himself. Yeah, I mean, it's not my hero or my idol, but there are a lot of things he says that I do agree with.
Since you mentioned the his academy, it's a good bridge to start the second part of the video. So let's watch.
Of course, in the other gender, there's the same question. What does it mean to be a good woman? I think obviously the bigger question is what does it mean to be a good person? But
Friedman podcast.
I swear.
That's, by the way, typical. That's a very Lex Fridman comment.
What, trying to be inclusive?
Well, this is, how can I say? It's really something he usually he gets you like that's not in the inclusive stuff. He breaks it down kind of to spread it out. How can I say it?
So he thinks out loud. That's what you want to say?
Nah, not
Tell you how
really
he gets to a certain conclusion.
Yeah, but he's trying to put everyone on the same scale, basically.
There's the same question. What does it mean to be a good woman? I think
said, what is it? Is it to be a good woman? What is it? Is it to be a good man? But more
obviously the bigger question is what does it mean to be a good person? But
Friedman podcast.
I swear to God. Now interrupt. Okay. So on that said, one aspect of the criticism that Andrew's received is not just on the misogyny, is on the MLM aspect of the multi-level marketing schemes they did. So is there some truth to that? Is there some fraudulent aspect to that?
So yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, that's the main reason I criticized him. So let's back up. There's a few clarifications I need to make. What Andrew Tate is selling is not multi-level marketing, although he is selling the dream. He's selling an affiliate marketing thing, which is slightly different. So in multi-level marketing, if I sell to you and then you go sell to 2 other people, I make money from those 2 other people down the chain, multi-level. Affiliate marketing is sort of like one level. I only make money. So Andrew Tate had this affiliate program where if you sold Hustlers University to somebody else, which sounds like something boomers would put on Facebook in like 2010. Like, I went to Hustlers University, School of Hard Knocks.
By the way, you were a member of Hustlers University. So
yeah, I joined. I became a hustler. That's in large part due to why I'm so successful is because of my Hustler University membership. I'm just kidding. But so it's an affiliate program. So you'd sell, like I sell to you this $50 course and I make like $5, and Andrew Tate in perpetuity makes $50 a month off of you. Okay. What does this course actually sell, right? Because ultimately he's selling the dream. He's selling, hey, the Matrix has enslaved you. He's really gone down this like Neo rabbit hole. So the Matrix has enslaved you. Your life is controlled by these people who want to keep you like kind of weak, lazy, whatever. You need to break out and you need to achieve the new dream, which is sort of like hustling your way to the top. You don't need the antiquated systems of school. You can just pay me $50 a month and I will teach you everything. Okay. So what do you actually get? Well, and why is it a scam? So I think it's just a scam in terms of like value and like you're selling based on these completely unrealistic things. He's like, let's get rich. Okay. You get a series of Discord rooms. So do you know what Discord? Most people know what Discord is. It's like a bunch of, chat rooms basically, right?
So it's like AOL, or is it like?
Yeah, right. Well, I'm talking to the guy who quit Emacs, so I don't know. There's Discord servers, and in these there's 7 different rooms you can go in, or there's several rooms, and each one is like a different field of making money.
Yes.
E-commerce, trading, cryptocurrency, I think fulfillment by Amazon, like copywriting. Okay, so I went to all of these. I checked them out. I checked all their money-making tools. The first funny thing is that Andrew Tate is nowhere to be found. The supposed successful guy that you like bought into is nowhere to be found. It's these professors that you have now, he has hired and said, these guys are super qualified. So like looked up some of what some of these guys have done. And some of them have launched like scammy crypto coins. The cryptocurrency professor was like shilling a bunch of coins that did bad and then like deleted the tweets. I mean, just completely exactly what you'd expect. Behind the paywall, it's nothing of substance. You're not going to learn to get rich by escaping the matrix and going to work for Jeff Bezos. Fulfillment by Amazon is not escaping the matrix, right? Like that's not the way to hustle to the top. It's literally a field of making money that everyone in the world has access to. If you want to differentiate yourself and make money, the first thing you realize is going into skill sets that literally anyone with an internet account can do is a bad way to do that, because you have to have some differentiating factor to add value. So it's just such a obvious and complete scam, because there is no value to this like so-called education. The professors are crap. The advice, they're like hiding some of the bad things they've done. And Andrew Tate's nowhere to be found. Ultimately, that's why everyone joins. What he's done is very interesting because, and I'll give him credit in his marketing, he's been very savvy to like make the reasons you admire him not the thing he's sort of selling, which is weird. Like he's selling get rich quick, which seems like it relates to his persona, but is actually very orthogonal to it. His persona is like the tell it how it is, like tall, buff, rich guy. It's like actually his persona that you're buying into. And then he's selling you this thing to the side, which when people get in there and they're not delivered on the product, he still is those things that you first thought he was. So it's like, I think it's to some extent, he's made a lot of money by making the thing that he makes money on, not the thing he gets so much pushback online for and what he's also loved for. So people push back for his misogyny, but the real way he's making money is just like basic get rich quick schemes that are super obvious to spot. But
do you know what we call that? A Trojan horse.
That is a Trojan horse.
That's a Trojan horse.
Definitely a trap.
That's a Trojan horse.
It's a trap.
It was one, yeah.
You buy into the person he is, and then you think, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. Like that 50 Cent song.
Is it 50 Cent? I'm a hustler.
Or maybe it's Lloyd Banks. It's on G Unit though.
Yeah.
One of the G Unit.
Yeah, it's probably Lloyd Banks.
Probably Lloyd Banks. Yeah.
Or
They all look. Anyway.
Oh, they don't look. Come on, man. Come on, man. Please don't. Of all people, you should be able to distinguish.
Anyway. So what was I going to say? Regarding this, what do you think about this whole I mean, you haven't you said you heard about the Hustlers University.
Yeah.
And you've heard about it, and maybe you've heard also the bad things about it based on the description by Coffeezilla. Almost say Godzilla. What's your opinion? I mean, I think he did an extensive research on this, so probably knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. So is it called Hustlers University? His university?
Yeah, I think they rebranded it. He said also.
Yeah. So no. So I was never interested in his university. There are other people that I look up to. Let's say with regards to life or what I want to achieve, etc. He's not one of them because he is more. So the way he portrays it himself, he does talk a little about business and those type of things, but people who gravitate to him, I believe, are people who seek. So they follow him for what he says with regards to the man-woman interdynamics. You know,
Okay.
I don't think that, and I'm more interested in business, and so he's not someone that I I wouldn't purchase his course to learn anything.
To get rich quick.
You- Not even a get rich necessarily. So maybe there is, maybe the professors. Well, if you believe what Coffeezilla says, then even the professors giving lessons there are not trustworthy. So giving lessons in his program, but no, he was never. I never saw him. I never regarded him as a guru for business. Only I watch what he says, but I think what resonates with majority of people is what he says with regards to the man-woman interdynamics. Top G.
Top G.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story. I mean, I've seen the price. I've seen a little bit about that. That university didn't really look into reviews because, like you said, I wasn't really interested. I like you said, there are some things I like about the Top G or Andrew. But they are, I've seen so many of these university online, and when you look at, if you think about it, in essence, if you think about it, you gotta ask yourself, what can this person teach me about business that I cannot find out myself a lot of times?
Yeah, well, to that I will say this: I have paid for, let's say, personal development courses in the past, workshops, and also subscriptions. But I say it's I don't want to talk too much about the subscriptions, but I do believe that you do need constant reminder. So if you are, let's say, member to a platform, let's say, with regards to investments, personal finance, whatever that may be, the fact that you're affiliated does have an added value, because you do have, let's say, a circle. You might not be as active. Of course, the more active you are, the more you'll get out of it. But I do believe that, I mean, a lot of people know everything as well. People know what they should eat. People know that they should exercise. People know things, but it's not knowledge. It's like, well, this is another guru for you. Dan Peña. Is that like Dan Peña would say? Dan Peña, it's like, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I had a good one. Forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, but yeah, I think that
Guys, RJ is still heating up, I guess. He's still heating up.
No, I was.
You lost the track. Maybe you'll come up. You'll remember what you was trying to say. Should I continue in a meanwhile?
Yeah, let's continue.
Okay, so with that being said, kind of interesting to see how this pans out for the Andrew Tate University. Apparently, according to Coffeezilla, they are using also clips from him to show that he's part of the Matrix. So in their new promo, they rebranded the university. So I guess you once you're a critic, you become part of the Matrix, even though it might be something you're pointing out something that's correct, but I guess it's us against them, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I don't like that kind of talk.
yeah, that's definitely something they would say right now. Maybe we also can become part of that promo.
I mean, the more so I see it, we need some trolls, man. We need, some dedicated trolls to our channel. That's when you're heading in the right direction.
I'm getting tired of these bots trying to troll.
Yeah, these bots.
I need some humans, man. I'm trying to go the Twitter way. Less bots, more humans.
Well, Twitter under Elon started with less humans as well.
That is true. That is true. Oh man. But guys, by the way, that Twitter story is going kind of sideways. We will not discuss this during this show, but it's taken a very interesting turn. Follow the Twitter of Elon and Barry and Matt.
Very
It's
wise.
going crazy down there. Matt Taibbi and indeed Barry Wise and of course Elon Ma or Elon Musk. Guys, let's
Guys,
continue.
one more thing before we continue. Guys, we really appreciate your comments, but sometimes we don't understand what you're saying. Please use punctuation, a comma and a point here and there. Sometimes it's difficult to understand whether you agree with us or don't.
Who are you talking about?
So people commenting in the
In our
yeah,
comments.
not in this live show. I'm talking about in when live when we cut the clips.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Please listen to RJ, man. Yeah, listen to RJ.
Yeah.
I cannot read. I'm blind. I'm legally blind. No, I'm just kidding. You know that clip, right?
Which one?
I cannot read. I'm legally blind. The
No.
girl that got arrested by the police.
Is that the Mama I Love You girl?
Mom, I love you. Yeah.
Yeah.
P, hold it down.
That's a classic.
That's a classic one. So
Let's continue.
Andrew wasn't the only one they talked about during this podcast. They also talked about Dan Lok
Or Locke.
or Locke. Maybe probably Locke.
He can't read. Guys, he told you.
I warned you guys.
No, that's KR, man. KR always gets people names messed up.
Yeah. What was the oh man. That guys go watch the
that was the
Black
BLM
Lives
one,
Matter
right?
show. That was
Black Lives Matter.
hell on earth for me. That was too many exotic names, man. Please keep it simple.
You were struggling.
I was struggling during that show. My God. Guys, go watch that. That was a pretty good show. I think we have to do another show on Black Lives Matter in the future. I mean, it was a very interesting topic we discussed back then, and
Yeah, well, there are certain developments going on. When there are more things to talk about, we can do it because we plan to dive deep into the story to uncover, what's really going on, and it's continuous, but I'd rather just wait for more things to come out before we continue.
yeah. So let's continue with Dan Lok.
That was somebody that you've covered that I think you've covered a lot, and I'm really embarrassed to not know much about him. I think this is like old school Coffeezilla. You've been through stages, okay?
I've been through stages and phases. True.
So a character named Dan Lok.
Yeah.
Who is he? You've exposed him for cult-like human and his cult-like practices. Who is he? What has he done?
So,
what are you laughing at?
Sorry, I'm laughing because I cannot say the joke. Guys, I cannot say what went through my mind.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
I'm gonna take this off show. I'm gonna take this off. Remember to tell me what I thought.
I'm gonna write it down.
Let's continue, guys. I'm gonna put myself on mute just in case.
Dan Lok is he's gone through a number of iterations, but he was kind of this like sales trainer guy who really made a hard push into what he called high ticket sales. And he was telling people that they could kind of escape the 9-to-5 rat race if they just learn high ticket sales, and they can have the life of their dreams. Basically, it's like, I'll teach you to sell, but I'll teach you to ask. Like, not only will I teach you to sell you that pen, but I'll teach you to sell it for $50,000 instead of $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to a lot of the people who had taken this course because it was pretty expensive. I think it was like $2,500 or $1,000. And mind you, the people who are taking it are like teachers and like people who don't have a lot of money. And then you take the course and immediately you find out, okay, well, there's an upsell. At the end of the course, you're not ready. You need to go from like high ticket closer, which is one of the products, to
Yo, that's
or,
the
like-
crazy okie doke right there. Hey, play the It's the Trap. Play the It's the Trap.
It's a trap.
Yo, that's a wild okie doke. You pay 2,500. You think you're gonna get all the knowledge you need, and then they tell you at the end, guy, this is not
That's
everything.
the-
We got
That's just
we
the
gave, you,
introduction.
we gave you just 75% of the knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I think less. Well, I think so. I know people who do it. You know, usually you do a free seminar, and then you make the upsell.
Yeah, that's
But-
that's the usual. But then
But
Well,
then
probably-
locks it down.
yeah, this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. They upsell you another course that's part of the first course.
Yeah, yeah.
So they upsell you basically the a chapter.
Or if that can be a paragraph as well. I think that I think that yeah, it's I remember. So this is a trick. I almost fell. Did I? No, I did. No, I did fall into a trap.
Oh,
no, not this one. Another one. You know the one where you start to register, and then when you sign, when you're, let's say, mid through the process, you end up on a page where they tell you sign up now. They give you the price and with a timer that in 5 minutes, so you have a special reduced price. And so, that causes a lot of pressure, man. So the first time, it was for forgot what I forgot. It was something I never used, but I purchased the first one. It was $80. And when I so the pressure was immense. When I
What can we do? When will this?
Immediately after, there were two more. So the second page. Do you want the exclusive? Do you also want content to exclusive? Some exclusive content. That was $50 and with another timer of 5 minutes. And then when I was like, okay, I'll purchase it too. Then I went to the third one. It was for something better. It was like $400. I was like, nope.
They were like this. We got him in the red. He's in the red.
Oh, and at that point, man, I knew I got God. At that point, I was like, I'm probably never gonna use this software.
Hey, the automation was like
Free money.
Yeah, and it's like, but the thing is, it's good for a one-time thing. You know, you can fool someone once, but I never forgot how I felt.
Yeah.
And it was someone, and this was oh yeah, I remember it was no. The second time, so the first one was, I think it was, I forgot. But the second time, I encountered something like that. It was from a lawyer that I was following, and it was talking about automation. And I'm a lawyer, and I am also all for automation. So I started to look up, what he had, and I was really interested. But as soon as I got on that I landed on that landing page, and I saw the timer. I never watched any content of his again because I was like, "Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
You don't provide content; you just provide a get rich quick scheme for you." So I was like, "No, this is not for me." And yeah, it was really.
The thing is with these upsell, I think you pointed out right there. At a certain point, people get desensitized to it. Desensitized. Yeah, desensitized. And if they feel used by you as an entrepreneur or as a platform or as a company, and you don't provide the value you promised them, I mean, that's probably the last time you're gonna sell.
Yeah.
And that's you're giving up future income for current income.
Yeah, because you want everything now. So you try to get as much as possible. And people will never forget what does the quote go? People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how they felt.
Mhm.
How you made them feel. Bro, yesterday I went shopping to get a coat.
Mhm.
And after I left that store, I was like, I'm never coming here again. Never. And it's a place where I used to shop a lot. I don't do a lot of shopping, but when I do, I go there. But I'm never going back there again. And that's purely because the price they charged was too high for what I bought. But it looked so good, man. So, so I purchased it because I needed it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm never coming here again because and for them, they probably thought, okay, yeah, we got the sale, but you got the sale, but you lost the customer.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Guys, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us with the algorithm, and also like the video. We've also dropped a link in the chat. So if you want to come up to discuss the topic, feel free to do so. Let's continue.
Yes.
The level up, right? And all of these courses are structured like this. So they spend a tremendous amount on Google Ads to get people in the door, promising the dream. And then once you're in, you're actually not done being like the product. You're actually in the system that tries to upsell you again and again and again and again. And eventually you're paying monthly and you're getting more and more. You're constantly paying for access to Dan Locke's wisdom and like ideas. And fundamentally, the sales system wasn't working for people. I mean, I talked to, like, for example, a teacher who put in like $25,000 and wasn't working for people. I mean, fundamentally, this sales system wasn't working for people. I mean, I talked to, like, for example, a teacher who put in like $25,000,
wow,
was in debt at one point, and has nothing to show for it. I know. And it was sort of these tactics of pressuring. And then anytime anyone would complain, he would try to silence them. So I heard from, like, funny enough, this lady was a teacher as well. She put together a Facebook group basically saying, I think this guy's a scam. His course didn't work. It's not working for a lot of people. Because fundamentally, the promise of turning someone from a non-salesman into a person who's making six figures selling is not an easy thing to do. It's not just a matter of just like, take my course. But anyways, it wasn't working. She created a Facebook group about it, and he like sues her and was like legally pressuring her to stop doing that. And I realized, like, somebody has to speak out about this, and everyone who is getting silenced. So I was like, I'm going to use my platform to raise awareness to this. And people came out of the woodwork. I mean, saying that this guy defrauded me or he scammed me. And I want to just really quickly take a beat to explain why get rich quick schemes are different than, let's say, selling a water bottle and saying it's the greatest water bottle ever, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. And RJ, first of all, do you know Dan Locke?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah. Not personally, I know of him. I have watched his content in the past. So like,
You're pulling a Kevin O'Leary basically right now.
I didn't get paid 15 million to defend them. So ask the questions. Come on.
Hey, but what are your thoughts about this? Or are you part of that cult as well?
No, man, not part of the cult. The cult.
Cult.
So
But
I
it
have
was-
watched his content,
Words,
but you could clearly. So I have watched his content in the past, but you can clearly see that he's a fake, or at least to me. And now he never resonated with me. I always watched because he also recycle. A lot of these people recycle. They recycle similar thoughts or theories, point of views, and they may add certain spices to their story. So I did watch a couple of his YouTube videos. He always seemed fake to me. But the funny thing about him is, this is the ironic thing, his whole story about high ticket sales is you can charge whatever you want. You just need to convince people to do it. So he's basically telling them in the course they paid for how they got God. Jeez. yo, that's guys. If you agree with me, please let me know. If you disagree, let us know as well.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
I'm telling you, man. That's his whole thing. His whole thing was
tough.
Just give a price. This is my price, and you pay it, and you'll see if people pay it. So, but it's a shame because with that amount of money, let's say for example, Patrick Bet-David and VALUETAINMENT, they have their yearly, shout out to PBD and VALUETAINMENT crew. They have their yearly vault conference. I think for the top seat, I believe you would need to pay somewhere close to maybe $2,000. You get 3 days. You get for $2,000, you get to sit. You get invited to a dinner with Patrick Bet-David and all the invitees. So let's say every speaker. At least you get something, and you get knowledge. You get a book, a handbook. And I trust Patrick Bet-David more purely because of what he's always proven to bring value. He really strives to, you really get practical tips, not just gibberish, and you will gibberish and just abstract ideas.
Yeah.
You get something in return. These people paid more just to get the upsell. So that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's why the title of the show is your guru, mentor or role model setting you up for failure.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times these scam, there's a really thin line in a scam and actually having a course worth buying. There's a very thin line because it's basically a matter of, I think he Coffeezilla also mentions it's the value you get. It's just that.
Yeah.
If you pay 2,000 for a course, you expect value that's more around 5,000. People usually, that's how people try to think about the value they get. And when they don't get the value, it's automatically being perceived as a scam.
Yeah.
And it's a very thin line. It's a very thin line.
I don't think it's I wouldn't call it a scam. Oh no, it's more. So the prices I mentioned, it's higher. They're higher.
What?
The prices I mentioned for 2,000, I mentioned 2,000, no. So I was I wasn't completely wrong, but the lunch is way higher. That's like 7,000.
Okay. But if you probably count the upsells they got.
Yeah, they probably got without eating with Shaq. Yeah, definitely. So no, so your point is, if I understand you correctly, whether or not you can call it a scam, simply because the people
value you receive of what you're paid for. And with courses, it's very. I'm not defending Dan, by the way, I'm just looking at it from a objective perspective. If I'm offering you a a course, RJ, and you think the course is not up to par, I think I create as a creator, I could think I created a course that's gives you all the knowledge you need. It could be the perfect course for everyone, but if you're not the right person for that course, you could perceive it as a scam. While you don't have the, by the way, this is not related to Dan Luke at all, but it's just
In general, in general.
in general. You can perceive that course as a scam, but you don't as a buyer of the product, you don't have the tools in order to turn that knowledge into something that's practical or turn it into something that can add value to whatever you're doing, whether
Yeah.
it's business or not.
Yeah.
And
So
you would be called a scam in that case.
yeah. So Coffeezilla's argument is that the it's the difference between MLM and just saying like, hey, buy this, and then you keep getting the upsells, versus just saying, hey, this is the best water ever, you need to buy it, makes you feel better, is that the MLM and other similar, and affiliate marketing and other similar marketing schemes are basically pulling you in a wormhole. Whereas if I just buy this bottle, I bought it once, and you can't upsell it. It's very difficult to upsell water, you're just a product. So, but here it's like you buy it, you get in, you have the paywall, and that's the perfect name for it. It's the paywall. You pay, and you basically go. You pay, but you don't know what you're gonna get. When you buy this bottle of water, you know you're gonna get water. But if when you pay, is what you said, for a course, you don't know what you might get. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I do see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's a very tough. As a creator, it's a very thin line what you're dealing with in that situation. But I mean, when it's obvious, there is a clear difference in value versus what you paid for, value you're receiving and what you pay for. I mean, that there is no doubt that it's a scam. And that's also one of the things why I'm always worried before I buy any course. Before I buy it, I really do my research on both the product and the people who are giving that course, or who's basically put that course together. Because I mean, everyone has a course these days, and a lot of people sell those courses as a get rich. If you follow this course, you'll get rich. You will have the money. What do you if you look at the both the message of Tate's Hustlers University and Dan Loke, Coffeezilla said basically the same thing.
Yeah.
For both, that's the thing they are trying to sell you is you can we are giving you the tools in order to step out of the 9 to 5 cycle.
Yeah. And for example, Dave Ramsey and the Ramsey Solutions, they also they what they're selling is financial freedom. But they have a budgeting tool. They have budgeting courses. You can, if you want, so they have like professionals they work with. So let's say if you need an accountant or you need a tax advisor or lawyer or whatever, I don't know if lawyers are included, but they have people they work with. So They do, and they have proven track records. They have people coming on their show who come and say, hey, we followed your steps, and basically we are now debt free. But that's because their course is really tight. It's a tight course. It's a compact course, and everything they do is like geared on. So that's what they're selling. Everything they're doing. They have books where they have conducted research, and that's where they derive that 80% of millionaires, I believe, are first generation millionaires. The next 10% are people who inherited maybe a max 5,000 or something. So so there's a very small group, but that's because their whole, that's everything they're selling, and you keep getting the assistance while you are a member. But again, maybe that doesn't necessarily mean that Dan Lok is a scammer. Can also mean that his program isn't as good.
Well, technically, it's both.
Do tell.
The program isn't good, and he's continues selling you the next one.
Yeah.
So that's technically, I'm not gonna contradict you, but let's call it a very dubious
Yeah.
business model.
Yeah.
Yo, but yeah, it's. I mean, it's. Guys, we're joking around, of course, but it's you got to be very, very careful about which courses you apply. And I think it's not only courses, by the way, because the next clip, I mean, people sell anything these days. The next skin is about Brian Rose. Oh, of course, I need to.
What have you learned from exposing some of the things that Dan Lok is?
Oh, wait a second. The wrong.
The other guy I think is the first person I discovered that you investigated is Brian Rose of London Real. Can you talk about his story?
Brian Rose, he was sort of this interesting figure because he was like trying to be, to one level or another, the Joe Rogan of London, which I don't think he did a terribly bad job of, especially initially. He had some really interesting podcasts with some really interesting people. And it's funny enough, I started out as I would watch him. I mean, I don't know if I was like a huge fan, but I was like, I like some of his interviews. He had some really good, like big gets in terms of, great guests. However, when kind of COVID started, he went down this really weird grifting rabbit hole where he did like this interview with David Icke, who's, as you know, like a pretty big COVID conspiracy theorist. And I mean, like actual, like he believes some of the royals are literally lizards. So he got shut down for that. And he kind of made a big stink, which I think it's fine. Nobody likes to be censored. And I'm not even saying that he should have been censored. But his reaction to that was to like raise a ton of money from his audience, promising this digital freedom platform. And at first it was like, oh, we want to raise $100,000. And then they raised it like within a day. So he's like, well, we got to raise a lot more money. And so eventually he raised $1 million, and he's trying to raise.
It's a trap. Yo, come on, man. Oh, we got this. We got this 100,000 quickly. If we can get 100,000 so quick, we might need to raise it to 500K. Oh my God.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Yo.
Put myself on mute again. Jeez. Yeah, but it's if you think about it, RJ, if you just think about it, it went better than he expected, and he was like, you know what? You know what? Let me start hustling these guys because I know they have money. They have more money than I actually thought.
Yeah.
But that's the start. It's a slippery slope, right?
Definitely.
It's a slippery slope.
$250,000 a month to kind of keep putting his views. 250 raise a lot more money, and so eventually they raised $1 million, and he's trying to raise $250,000 a month to kind of keep putting his viewers' money into this stuff. So I started digging into the platform they were building, and there was nothing free about it. They had censorship guidelines, and there was nothing about a platform at all. There was no underlying infrastructure. He just got some white label live streaming thing. So I criticized him for that. It was just this ridiculous thing. All the donators expected one thing. They thought Brian Rose was going to take on Google and Facebook and like bring free speech back for everybody. And of course he didn't. And then it kind of got worse because he started taking a lot of heat for that. And he really pivoted hard into like the DeFi grift. So he started selling this course about DeFi mastery. And this is a guy who knows nothing about crypto. Or very little at least. So it just got really he just kind of doubled down on this course model of you're going to be rich if you just follow me. And it was ultimately, you just type in Brian Rose on YouTube, you can see what his audience thought of that, because almost all of them have left him at this point. He's getting like 1,000 views a video. And it wasn't because of me. I mean, it was like people lost taste in just the constant ask for more money, more money, more money. At some point, people get sick of it. And it's like everyone has an understanding that like no one works for free. But when it starts to be ego driven and driven around money, everything's about money, it drives people away. Well,
RJ, do you know Brian?
I know of him as well. I've also watched his content. During the same period of time, I would say that I watched Dan Locke's content, which was six years ago, maybe. I haven't watched it since. He made a pivot at one point. You know, when I stopped watching him, he interviewed Dan Peña. I don't even know if you recall, but before that, he was a pretty hippie type of person. You know, he was like a hippie person. And afterwards, he started. He interviewed Dan Peña. Also, I'm also watched. I haven't watched Dan Peña in a while as well, but I like his content as well. And you had like this tough older guy in Dan Peña and like a really very relaxed Brian sitting across each other. Across from one another, and he was telling Dan that he is the way he is now because before that he was more of a corporate guy, but then he stopped because he I don't know what happened, but he didn't really like it anymore. And Dan said, "No, you're that's because I'm gonna paraphrase, but we basically called him a wuss and a snowflake." And after that, then he went to the castle, Dan Peña's famous castle, to one of his seminars that cost, I think, 20,000 K. Which I wouldn't pay for that either. With 20,000 K, I could do a lot of things. But okay, he did it, and then shortly after, he pivoted. He made a switch. He stopped wearing his hoodies. Started wearing three-piece suits like Dan Peña, and to me it seemed like he was trying to become Dan. But he can't be Dan because you need to be either you're Dan or you're not. You can't
Yeah, Dan is different.
you can't. He's built different, and that's when I started seeing noticing that he's not genuine anymore, and that's when I stopped watching. And I believe more people did that as well, especially those who got duped by his ask for money.
Yeah, it's if you think about it, when I watch this this podcast, I know Brian. I've also been watching Brian for a long time, and I haven't watched him also in a long time. I've known him for I don't know what year, but early days when London Real was just starting up, and if you, I didn't even notice it, but when he said people aren't watching his videos, I went to his channel, RJ. It could be that because people pivoted from his channel to his platform. I'm not sure because I don't know how much numbers they are doing there, but he has more than 2 million subscribers, and he's doing
subscribers.
1,000 views clip. That is to me quite crazy.
That's pretty worrisome.
He's 2 million subscribers, and you're doing around 1,000, 2,000. Some clips he goes to 30, but
is he still really active?
well, he still posts.
You know, I truly believe in the more understanding I get about life, the more I see the importance of just really.
They say that
So really staying in your lane. So if you connect, be yourself. Be yourself. So by doing what comes naturally to you, you will get better success than trying to imitate someone. There are a lot of leadership types. So you should try to emulate or try to apply the leadership style that best matches your personality and the type of person you are, I believe. You know, you should know everything, but like I said, you can't become Dan Peña, or he can become Dan Peña. He's not a Dan Peña, he's a different person. And if people can relate with you, then you start getting 1,000 views with 2 million subscribers.
I mean, the best clip he has from the last week is, guess who? David Icke, 29K. But otherwise, it's always around 32. Look at this difference. He's doing 3K probably max in a week. David Icke stuff, all 32K, 20K.
But then he's going in that direction. Whereas before that, he was interviewing a lot of different people.
Yes, he was like Coffeezilla said. He was more like the
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. But this is, I mean, I guess he's still interviewing other people, but he ain't getting no traction with those. So he basically locked himself in.
Yeah. It is what it is, man.
Hey, it is what it is indeed. Let's continue with the next clip. Oh, before I continue, RJ, do you know what Brian, Rose, and Dan Locke have in common?
They both wear three-piece suits now. They are, I can't think of anything else actually.
Really? Well, I thought you would have known this. Both of them are Dan Peña alumni.
Yo. Okay.
And that's why I guess why both wear three-piece suits.
Probably.
Yeah. I guess no, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I like Dan too much.
I like that paying a lot.
I like Dan. I mean, guys, you might like someone that doesn't mean you have to buy their stuff. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, check out the free content. That's also
Get inspiration and use your brain.
yeah.
Connect the dots. A lot of times, so this is how I'm not gonna say I'm scamming these guys, but if you watch the webinar, you can trace whatever they talk. Well, not a lot of times. Well, I guess not all the time, but you can trace what they're saying. You can build it yourself by just looking at the webinar and then reverse engineering. But
Yo,
what?
sorry to interrupt you. No, let's continue.
What do you want to say? Is it PG? It's a family show, man.
Yeah, it's PG.
Oh,
So I don't know if it's coincidence or not. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Let me check.
Dan is calling you?
No, it's not Dan. Let me check.
Oh.
Is it this one? I don't know if it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Yo,
Guys.
this is okay. Remember we talked about Twitch off himself, right? In our show. Remember what I told you? Now I haven't watched the content yet though. But I'm just gonna share a screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So I haven't watched it. It can be clickbait as well.
Oh no, say it ain't so.
It can be clickbait as well. So we don't know for sure.
Oh, that's O'Shea. O'Shea usually does research. So
Yeah. So
let's look at it after the show. But this
let's
is
check it
wow, bro. Did he really?
Let's see. We don't know for sure. But
crazy. But this is where we at right now, man.
Yeah, you know.
This is where we at.
The first thing that came to mind, there wasn't a relationship problem because dude was dancing and it's because everyone was saying no, he was so happy with his wife, etc. And so I was like, so it's not money, or maybe it is money. But if it's money, it's not a lack of earning money because he was on a national TV show with Ellen, so he probably got paid.
Well,
it was. Well, no, we're not going to get into that.
If I had something for Alan, I would have played it here. But I guess I cannot play a few.
No, but I think so. That's the first thing because everyone was saying that in his personal life, everything was going well.
Yeah. To bring it back to Dan Loke and all these guys selling those things, guys, watch the stuff. Don't buy it. Come on, it's a shame you're paying for some of these. I mean, there are some courses that are good, but you have to really do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Read about it, read the reviews, and don't become part of the cult as well. Don't really. People just try to look at it from an objective point of view. Don't believe the hype on both sides. Just read it objectively and take your conclusions and move accordingly. I'll be honest, RJ. If you ask me, have I ever been scammed in any of the courses I've ever bought?
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to that. Let me go back to the last part of the show. Basically, we're going to talk about what Coffeezilla has learned from what the shows or the topics he discussed. We're gonna look at Better Pet David as well, but let's start with coffee.
From the Coffeezilla subreddit, shout out.
Shout out.
How does Coffee find the strength to maintain his integrity and resist temptation of being paid a great amount of money to advertise or promote a potential scam?
I think that's like goes back to what we've been talking about a lot, which is just on what you prioritize, what you value. I've just never, I guess I grew up kind of lower middle class, and I had a great time. Like I had a great childhood. I had very loving parents. And because of that, I guess intuited at an early age that money doesn't do a whole lot. And I knew a lot of people who were way better off who had miserable childhoods because whether their dad was always gone at work or like they just had other family issues that just money can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, I guess quickly, that money's a very like, it's a glittery object that isn't what it appears to be. And so to me, I'm like, I'm having the time of my life making my show. I'm not going to have the time. Like you could ruin all that just trying to go for this quick check when it's like, no, I'm having a great time. Like,
yeah, it's actually, maybe you're probably the same way, but for me, there's a lot of happiness in having integrity, in looking in the mirror and knowing that you're the kind of person that has that. In fact, walking away from money is also fun because it's like promising like it's showing. It's easy to like just say you have integrity. It's nice to like, I've discovered several times in my life that I have integrity.
you get put like basically to the test.
Yeah. I've said like I don't know if I publicly said, but to myself I say like you can't buy. There's a lot of things you can't buy with me, like $4 billion, like $1 trillion. But it'd be nice to get tested that way. It'd be cool to see because you never know until you're in that room.
It's true.
Makes me think of a great quote by Country Wayne. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can get you so close you can't tell the difference. Mute it again.
Hey, man.
Money can't buy you happiness, but it can get you so close you can't tell the difference.
Well, but I think Lex makes a pretty good point here as well. I mean, I understand what you said and that quote, but I mean, sometimes you gotta ask yourself if your integrity is, can you sleep with the choices you made? Yeah, that's. I think that's what he's referring here to.
Yeah, and I would rephrase it. I wouldn't say walking away from money is fun, but it does put you in a power position toward yourself. You know, so some people think that they can, because they pay you, they can demand anything from you. But it's like when you show them like, no, this is how we do things, they can leave. And if they leave, it's a bummer, but sometimes they stay. You know, they respect you and they stay. And that to me is when that feels great. Not just saying no, but saying no and these people respecting you and saying, okay, you know what, respect you, let's proceed. We agree to your terms. But you shouldn't be afraid to lose, because that person can say, okay, then we're leaving as well.
Don't be afraid. It's a good point. Very good point. That goes also for relationships, not only for money related stuff.
Well,
but that's a different topic though.
And potato.
What? Oh, for some it is potato. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's another scam, by the way. Let's not talk about that type of scam.
That's something for a different show.
That's
topic for a different show.
That's a different topic. That for that topic, you have to go to another channel. I'm just not gonna say any channels who's talking about this. Hey, shout out to everyone who's talking about that stuff. So the next clip is so I got my clips twisted up. This is the one which is about what he has learned. The other one was basically about how not to set up people. Let's
Is
see.
doing. What have you learned about human nature and fraudsters and gurus and so on?
That's a great question. So I think one of them is that there's this systemic problem that the phrase "there's a sucker born every minute" is very true. There is no end to the people who will fall for something like this. And the problem is because there's just no end to need and want and just lack. I mean, it's easy to, on the one hand, criticize people's greed, but a lot of times you have to put yourself in their shoes. If you're at a dead-end job, you have nothing going for you, you don't have the money to go to college, you don't want to get in debt, fair play, where do you go, right? As you said, there's somebody who's there saying they believe in you, they believe you can make six figures. You're going to believe in that. And so I really felt like it made a lot more sense to tackle it from the other side, from the side of people that can stop, that can basically be exposed and basically be, have sort of like a negative put on their work. I mean, they're largely going under the radar. So I kind of felt like, do you want to educate do you want to like blame it on the victims and say, you should have known better, you should have done this, you should stop? But there's no end to that. Or do you go after the grifters themselves? And so that's what I realized. I realized like that's the tactic that I went with. And it's tough because it's a little like legally risky to do that. But yeah, you just kind of got to be smart about it, I guess.
So your platform has gotten really big. So there's some
Clear.
Yes. One thing I also want to point out, and this is from a business perspective, guys. When someone is selling you a course about the thing they are, just look at courses from this perspective as well as other ones. When someone is selling you a course and that course is, that person is gonna tell you how you can build a business they have built. Not saying all that applies to all of them, but one thing you have to always think about is if they are giving you the tools to operate the same business they are operating, they are basically inviting a new competitor. Do you actually think that's a smart move? It's either they are, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. But RJ, if you think I'm wrong, just chime in.
I do, but finish.
Okay. I could be wrong. I guess I'm wrong, but let's talk about it then.
Yeah.
If let's say, for example, and I'm gonna take the drop shipping example. I'm gonna make a drop shipping course, and I'm gonna tell you how you should run a drop shipping business. Basically, inviting people into my space, creating more competitors, making my own life hard, or maybe, just maybe, I'm not in that business and I'm selling you the course, and that's my main business model, rather than what they're telling you to do. So try to look at it from that angle. Please, RJ, let me know where I was wrong.
So I wouldn't say you're wrong, but I would say there's a different perspective. So
Double Dot Show, tell me.
Sometimes, let's say, for example, so I'm a lawyer and I give certain courses as well, right? Legal courses. Sometimes you do provide information, but at the simultaneously. Why do I give the courses? The courses are a good way. It's a low threshold for people, especially small and medium sized enterprises who've never had or are basically afraid to approach a lawyer, right? So you come, and in my courses I try to give good content.
Yes.
The thing is,
you're already on a different path, but continue.
But let's say when the people there that come, some people have experience. They have years of experience, so they will use let's say small information, a couple of information to tighten their knowledge or skills, right? And then that would be enough. But some people, starters or people who don't have time to do things, to apply what they've learned, they will at least realize that there exists something that they don't know, or they don't so they don't know too much about, or they don't really know how to apply it. And that would make them either decide, hey, I'm going to contract this lawyer, or I'm going to to ask for advice. So I wouldn't say it's not always that you're so what I'm saying is sometimes it's impossible for you to become a competitor directly. And he's selling, and Dan Locke, for example, was selling sales. He's talking about sales, especially high ticket sales.
Okay, he's not talking about specific sales. That is true. Let's put it this way, RJ. These people you are selling your courses to, are they lawyers?
Nope.
Okay, that's one. These people, let me not these people. Let me go to a different route.
That's a good point.
No, it's not the two. That's not why I'm going a different route.
No, it's a good point.
What?
Oh, but what you just said. Continue.
The lawyer ones.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Well, what do you expect? Like I'm some kind of noob.
That's why I was hesitant to give you your props. But come on, let's continue.
Don't give me props. Keep throwing rocks and see how I start swinging at them and hit home runs like Big Papi. Anyway, so these are not lawyers.
Big Papi, is that Nick Cannon?
Pause.
No. That's what he is, right? 11 kids or something.
11 kids. He's knocking something up. I'm talking about knocking something out of the park. I'm not talking knocking something up. That's totally different things.
My fault.
Yeah. So these people are not lawyers. So they are not direct competitors. Would you? And I'm talking about like courses about how to start a drop shipping business, how to start specific businesses. Would you show another lawyer your business model and teach them everything about your business model and how to be successful with your business model?
Yeah, so I do believe yes, but it depends.
One-on-one.
So it depends on the market. So first of all, it depends on the market. And because there are lawyers who teach you how to, for example, run your business. But when you do it, these lawyers are your success will not affect them. So if you have, for example, let's say there's a lawyer I follow. He's not a lawyer anymore, but he was based in, I want to say Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's not a lawyer anymore, you said, right?
No, he sold his firm, but before he sold his firm, he already had a program. So I think he probably transitioned. So this program was to transition. So basically built a platform where you can find daily news. A lot of lawyers come together. So you have Slack channels. So it does add value. but he's not teaching them how to. He's not teaching them that business model. He's teaching them how to build a virtual law firm, or at least, a virtual law firm.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different. So it is possible, but you do it, and you asked whether you would teach a competitor. You can, but you would need to be in a position where you would not be affected by their success. And people were flying from all over the place to get to Denlock's courses. So I would argue that they would never get that good. I mean, the people who went to Denlock, probably the people who fell for his scheme, or you don't want to use the word scheme, who was convinced by his pitch.
Preparation.
Yeah, they probably weren't top salesmen to begin with. Yeah, they probably weren't top persons to begin with. So.
Yeah, trickeration is a word they use in football.
Trickeration?
Yeah. Instead of saying trickery, I don't know why they use trickeration always. Anyway, I think you're right. You're right. But guys, keep that in mind as well when you're buying courses from these people. I mean, you can get got easily.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I'm gonna show a couple of parts of Patrick David, and then we can talk about this subject.
How much money how much money would you say would it take for you to say yes to a product you have zero belief in? Like at what point do we say no to a sponsorship? So for example, let's just say hypothetically, okay, and our sponsor guy is sitting right here. So let's just say, how many times have I said no to you and you've told me, but Pat, they're willing to spend XYZ money? How many times? And by the way, as a person who makes money on the sponsor side, do you like that? That probably upsets you because you just got a big commission check if I say yes to it, right? So it doesn't help our sponsor side. So these guys, this company that runs this keto company, right? One of the biggest keto company in America, if not the biggest. And they send a bunch of stuff, and they're diehard fans of the podcast. And I love that. I got a lot of respect. I appreciate the support. And here's how much money they're going to give you. Okay, you want me to get and talk about keto? I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I would be lying if I said keto diet changed my life. I would be lying if I did that. So there is a very interesting position. Like, you know how some of the people are like, well, you know, this is how much money it would take. How much money would it take for you to say yes to a product you have zero belief in to promote constantly? How much money? Like, let's say a product.
I can be bought, is what you're asking. Yes, I can be bought. I love keto. The keto king. How much did he pay me?
No.
All I do is keto.
But by the way, I'm actually asking a very real question. So tell me,
everyone's got a price.
No,
That's
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree.
What would you?
Yeah.
Yes. So, do you believe that everyone has a price? Or whether it's a myth?
No, I do think everyone that's speaking absolute. I don't like talking like that.
Only Sid's talking absolute, right?
I think a lot of people have prices, but it's not always monetary. For example, I'm not willing to steal for money, but I don't know how I would react if I had a child dying and I needed, I need money to
situations are situational.
Situations, just like what's the movie called? The one with Denzel.
Yeah, with the heart or whatever.
With the dart. So it's like that. In that sense, I do believe that everyone has a price, but it's not always monetary. It can be something else as well.
Okay. Yeah. Patrick doesn't believe that. Well, he believes that not everyone has a price. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You know how I said there's a dollar amount for everybody? I think there's a dollar amount for, and you fully believe that there's a dollar
I
amount.
think for the majority of people, they can be bought. Whatever the number is, whatever
There
it
is a
is,
number.
there is a number
Yeah.
for everybody.
And I will tell you this, if that's the mindset, you will have a very, very low Q score and a very, very low loyalty from customers that will keep coming back to see what you endorse and promote.
Yeah.
You will lose credibility, because if you become the whore that's going around, what do you call it? The
whore.
Yeah, but he's right. He's right. He's not lying.
Yeah. Let's go.
Bruh.
Let's go.
Taking
Village
sponsorship
bicycle?
money from everybody. Then what you're saying is your audience is sitting there saying, dude, that's like the 99th one you just sponsored. Do you really use that? Do you really do that? Why are you saying that? There's so it's a tough relationship. And by the way, I'm not blaming the influencer. I can only imagine what it's like to say, hey, here's 15 million bucks. Here's 5 million bucks. That's got to be tempting for a person to say yes, and especially tempting for smaller, what do you call it? Influencers.
It goes both ways too.
Like Kevin's not small.
Yeah.
Kevin's got money.
Well, here's my point. We have the luxury that we're here, Valuetainment, PBD podcast, everything is not our main source of income.
Right.
Correct. Right.
Yes.
So you have PHP.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So like we do this because we love it, we enjoy it, we appreciate the audience,
Yeah.
we're building something, but this is not our main source of revenue. So we have the luxury to say, it's not worth it, because we are very
Yeah.
selective. I know I'm being very like, everyone has a price, but we discussions like, this isn't a
Are you trying to demonetize us or what?
fit for us, and you're very selective with that, no doubt. But let's say this is your only thing and it's your only job, and you're running a podcast and you're making no money, but you're whatever the career is, whatever it is, you're doing a show, a podcast, you're a TikToker, and this is your only source of revenue. It is very hard to be like, this guy wants to pay me $100,000 to promote his keto thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't made $100,000 in my life. Sign me up for keto.
Adam, you're right.
That's the problem that people.
Where do I sign?
Yeah.
We're going to run into.
Sorry to cut you off there. You're right. But that's why so few people have the high Q scores. So few. And it goes the other way too. Do you remember when Fiat hired J-Lo for their little tiny car? I think it's the 500 or the 5000. It's a small car, very small car. And she's driving around Brooklyn, like where I grew up. Remember when I was a small girl? That was false. People jumped on that and said, wait a minute, she didn't grow up there. She didn't grow up there. And she's also made comments about little small cars. And so there's a mismatch there. So she took the money. She was the wrong spokesperson. And it hurt Fiat the other way. They pulled the campaign out and they dropped it all off. And then you go the other side, who's got the high Q score? If you go back the last 15 years, one of the highest Q scores was Peyton Manning. And he was with Nationwide Insurance. He picked his spots. He had a lot of them out there, but he picked his spots and he used the product and he was straight with it. And he made money. Integrity doesn't know, also on the food chain, integrity doesn't care whether you are poor or rich. If you were at a small podcast and you took the money for some rank product, then you're putting your integrity off to the side and you're not going to have the Q score you want.
So yeah, so what I would say is, I do believe, so this is what I would say. This is what I've seen. Sometimes when you see politics, office politics, it's always like the friend, the cousin, the one that the ally, that's the one who gets the promotion and those type of things, right? And oftentimes you have that one person or a few people who are more focused on their work and they value their integrity more, and that's why they don't get ahead. But at the same time, when the employer, to stay on the example of the employer-employee, when the employer needs someone that he can trust for a very crucial and important task, you will go to the integral person. So he might favor the other person, or other people when it's time of peace, but when it's war, I've experienced it. And I've experienced. I know this person. This person is a financial. He has a financial background, and he gets basically asked by banks to sit in boards as financial director, as the financial director of various companies who are, let's say, who are at risk of going bankrupt. And but this person is a very, so he can't, to him the job is important, so he will not hesitate to step on the CEO's feet, on the supervisories, but he doesn't care if
No
they're
necks are spared around there.
no. And that's why the first question he asks, you know about me, or if the person doesn't know him personally, do you know of me? Do you know how I work? And when they say yes, we do, but we still want you, oftentimes mean that they are in deep trouble. So, but this person will not get the, let's say, the easy contracts, but he's the one they contract when they really need to get something done.
Clear. Thanks to everyone for who's following the live show so far, and also the rebroadcast. Didn't forget you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment, of course. Let us know. Do people have a price? Do you think Patrick Bet David is right? I mean, technically, I think he has a point with regarding the Q score thing, because that's basically the score of trust towards someone who's a celebrity or well known. So far, we have a pretty high Q score, but then again, who knows? Let us know in the comments, please.
Yes.
So, RJ, when we're talking about the main question, is your guru, mentor, hero, role model putting you in a situation that might seem that he's setting you up for failure? And how can we possibly avoid that?
I think I think the best way the most important thing to remember is that you are the most important person to yourself, and no one will care more about you than yourself. So I always say, and I say it because due to trial and error, because in the past I would trust, so I would give my trust, let's say I would trust mentors, and not international mentors, just local, just local mentors, people I know. I will basically trust them completely, and I will just tell them, tell me what I need to do, and I'll do it. And you do hear sometimes of those types of stories, right? But I think it's important to remember that no one can. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your own success. You're responsible for your future, and it's good to, let's say, if you put someone in the position of a mentor or a coach, whatever that may be, remember to think, to question the things that he's telling you or she's telling you to do as well. I think most of the times people forget about that. They doubt themselves so much that they think that everything the other person says is gold. And that's when you run the risk of getting bamboozled.
Perfect.
You're right. Definitely right. Guys, thank you for watching so far. Let us know in the comments what you think is the best way to possibly avoid your mentor setting you up for failure. Or do people have to scan their mentor much better, or mentor or role model? Do you have to really do? I want to use the word due diligence again, but you have to. Do people really have to look into the background of the people they admire in order to find out whether what they are trying to sell you, if it's correct or not, or something of worth? Let us know in the comments, please.
Yes.
Other than that, RJ, what are the conclusions we have for today?
Yeah, so let me just give a quick recap, because we talked about we saw a couple of clips and we talked about different gurus. One, basically, you see a certain pattern oftentimes. So based on all the stories and the people we talked about, you see a pattern in their behavior. Oftentimes they sell you the dream, drink the Kool-Aid, and they if and I would say, KaiR, if the story sounds too good to be true, and probably is.
Telling you about becoming a millionaire like that.
Yeah.
It's not that easy, guys. It's not really not that easy.
And I do believe in paying for courses
Mhm.
to upgrade yourself.
What is the highest courses you ever bought? Online course.
Online course?
Uh-huh.
I would
The
say
one that-
$300, $400. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's paying off.
It's really the highest one?
Yeah. I have
Okay.
paid the highest course I've ever paid for was $3,200. That was a 6-month intensive course. It was really helpful. But that was basically a small group, a lot of attention. It wasn't like I wasn't like a part of 100 people and no one knew my name. It was a small group. Very, very, very helpful. Definitely, that's the highest I paid. What about you?
1,500
For an online course?
Mhm.
Did it pay off?
It was a pretty good one. Definitely don't have any. Was it 1,500?
No regrets.
No regrets. But now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think it's the 1,500 one. The other one is lower. The other one was lower. So it was very valuable in me gaining the knowledge with regards to what the topic I wanted to gain knowledge on. So
Yeah. So
it was worth it.
So I do
But
think,
continue with the conclusion, please.
yeah. So I
Sorry.
do think. So we talked about courses. You need to pay. Yeah, need to. It's good to pay for courses to just to upgrade yourself. Courses. You must also remember. It also gives you oftentimes access to other people. So it can be good for your network as well. But I would say there are a lot of courses for a lot of prices. Always try to see whether the price, ask yourself if it's worth it or not. If you're just going to talk about sales techniques, start with a lower course. If you know nothing, you don't have to go to the Dan Locke's course.
Yeah.
And when you start going to courses for less money, you will realize that perhaps the Dan Locke's course isn't really beneficial to you either, because you jump. Let's say even if the content is that good, you jump from a novice to professional. After that course, you know nothing because it's too advanced for you. So
Mhm.
Like trying to play piano, and you go to to top pianist and tell him, yeah, teach me how to play, and he plays like 5 beautiful pieces, and you can even do a do re mi without mistakes. So I would say watch out for that. That was the message. That was one of the conclusions. Ask yourself who the person is and due diligence. You mentioned it already. It's basically the most important thing. Ask yourself, find out for yourself whether it's good or not. And if you don't, if your gut feeling tells you that's not it, then maybe you should trust it. I think that's I don't know. Yeah, for the most part, those are the conclusions.
Okay. Yeah. At the end of the day, we can only.
But I can only show you the door.
You have to walk through it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. As you've noticed or might have noticed, we've changed up the format of today's show just a little bit. As you know, we build it as we fly, so we keep tweaking it. We're trying to see how we can give you more value. So trying new things. So that's why we're trying new things out. That's why we really appreciate your feedback. Please let us know in the comments what you think of the format. Whether you've noticed the change in format. It's also a legitimate question. But yeah, we really do everything. We try to provide you as much value as possible.
We don't end up on that list. I'm just kidding.
Sign up for no for a newsletter. No, we don't have a newsletter yet. But yeah, so please let us know, or if you have any topics you want us to discuss, do you have any questions or remarks, any feedback, more than welcome. We can still watch all our all your comments. We're still not that big, so this is a great time for you to basically have influence on how this show will develop in the future. On that note, we want to thank all the viewers who are watching the live and the rebroadcast. Whatever your thoughts are, please let us know in the comments below. Remember to rate the show by pressing the like button. It really helps us with the algorithms to push our videos higher. Follow us on our socials, Facebook and Instagram. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, guys. We appreciate you liking the video. We appreciate you engaging with us. But we really want to get our subscribers up. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. We truly appreciate it. Thanks to all your support. And on that note, guys, we'll see each other next time.